The two-voice singing in Dolni Polog region in northwestern Macedonia is a vocal traditional form characteristic to this region only, being by that of great importance to the cultural identity of the population. The very term for this type of singing, which the local population calls Glasoechko, which means by voice, or Selsko, which means rural, justifies its social and cultural function transferred orally for generation as part of the local tradition. The manner of singing is specific to the male singing, but in varied forms it also appears within female singing in this region. Occasionally, mixed groups practice this singing too.
More vedro nebo nad vezotvo,
In musical sense, Glasoechki are songs performed in two voices in drawn manner with specific melody line and characteristic interrelation between the two voices, since the drone of Dolni Polog can move in contrapoint relation to the first leading voice. The first voice initiates the song with the basic melody and the second voice conjoins or sings unison with it, but right after the beginning it descends to the finales in a polyphone directing of the voices and remains there until the end of the verse. While going through the downward movement, the first voice descends through a microtonal tonal sequence by shaking the voice, characteristic to this kind of singing, where the drone creates non-temporal intervals of second and quart verticals. Sometimes, when songs are performed in a group of three singers, a three-voice singing appears. While the first voice leads the melody, one of the drone voices is static on the finales, and the other drone voice descends from the finales for a whole degree downwards on the subtonium and returns to the finales. The three-voice singing, as a phenomenon, was transferred through the generations, but as a pure aesthetic category, today is completely disappeared. The songs are performed in a free rubato rhythm, but songs in 2/4 or 4/4 rhythm also exist and are performed accompanied by a folk dance. Rhythmical songs are almost always with love texts. The songs are often accompanied by a kaval or a bagpipe. In the past, the songs were performed on weddings, holidays, gatherings, matinees, but also while working on the fields, when the songs were often performed antiphonic, by overtaking. This manner of singing was distinctive to occasions when several groups were singing, whereupon, when one of the groups would finish a verse, the other would continue with the following verse. Although these songs are called Glasoechki or Selski in the entire region, variations of singing which alternate from a village to a village may also be distinguished, mostly referring to a higher or a lower intonation. As a subgroup of this kind of singing, the so-called Gatalechki, divinatory songs, featuring more rhythmical structure and text, also appear. The Glasoechki songs are part of this region's tradition and as such are recognized by the local population, which makes a clear distinction between their manner of singing and that of the neighboring region called Gorni Polog. Today, the two-voice male singing in Dolni Polog is on the verge of disappearing. Despite the presence of certain individuals or smaller groups who remember and know this kind of singing, the singing becomes more and more rare. The basic reason for this disappearing may be found in the process of transferring, that is, the decrease of interest among the young population to learn and by that to preserve this cultural wealth. Despite the awareness that this kind of singing is unique and distinctive to this region only, the young generations lack the opportunities, the instruments and the will to study the specific of this singing, which in the past was transferred completely spontaneously as part of the everyday social events. Luckily, although very rarely, smaller groups of older singers who perform these songs at modern weddings, gatherings or other kind of social events may still be encountered. Their singing remains spontaneous and with completely preserved style. The current plight of the Glasoechko singing indicates that this cultural wealth is on the verge of disappearing, but by timely action, these rare groups of older singers are available to transfer their unique vocal tradition, which is of great importance to the cultural identity of these people.
Leno mori, le dobro ide, ajde, le dobro ide. Le dobro ide, leno mori, ne videno. Samo jedna leno mori se vidomo, ajde tamo dolo. Tamo dolu leno mori na kladenče.